As the Wano arc is officially over, it's left us with a very unsatisfying feeling and a lot of things that really just doesn't really feel that likable. First of all, where is Carotto? What is she not even mentioned in this chapter? I know that Oda hates her character, but he better have a better explanation of why she's not even mentioned or seen in this chapter. She better be hiding on Sunny, because she is important. She is way more important than that character of Yamato. Because yes, in this chapter of 1057, let me just tell you immediately that Yamato is not joining the Straw Hat crew. And that is the one thing from this chapter that I like. Because I never liked Yamato joining the Straw Hats. It did not make sense. Yamato has no character development, and Yamato is strong, but that is it. And Yamato knows a lot of things, but Yamato is not a developed character. A lot of people have called Yamato an MVP. Yamato is not an MVP. Yamato is just a character that popped up like that. And then suddenly, as soon as Yamato was revealed, it sparked non-stop controversy because people cannot decide, because the manga cannot confirm exactly what is Yamato. What kind of character is Yamato? And it's not been any development. Yamato is Kosuki Oden. Yamato is a Bokuku. Yamamoto is identified as what? It's never any confirmation on Yamamoto's character. So I never liked Yamamoto joining the Straw Hats because there was no satisfaction. Where's the sad backstory? Where is that samurai that Yamamoto lost? Where is everything else? Well, anyway, the Momonosuke and Kinemon also catch up. Momonosuke has a crying scene thinking about a lot. You have to pay attention though that Momo and Kinemon has been traveling with the Straw Hats a lot, doing a lot of different journeys. And Luffy has been the really only one to not giving any kid gloves to Momo. Always been a little bit of a bully, but also been a little bit of a big brother mentor to him. As well as really saying the harsh truth that Momo needs to hear, but doesn't really want to hear. He's basically been the mentor or the person that Momo wish he was, but is not. So Luffy is laughing about all of these situations, calling him, well, childish and that and that and that. That makes sense, but it's a little bit of, why do Momo always have to do this? I know that Momo is a child in a grown man's body, but it's not really satisfying anyway, because it really shows that he's not growing emotionally. Ugh. Kinemon also thanks them. But before Luffy and Co sails away, Luffy says that all three of them are welcome to join the crew eventually, which also pisses me off. Because Momo cannot join, he's the Shogun. And Kinemon joining, I know he was on the crew and there's Rosa and everything, but that also does not make any sense. And finally, the crew of the Supernovas, or the three superpowers, that sail away. Kid is being annoying and always saying that now we're gonna do the harsh harsh gateway. And of course, Luffy and Law forces their crews to do this. Law is also very annoying in this chapter because he's really saying something like, we're enemies now. You have been with the Straw Hats for practically a decade, and you are still saying stuff like that? I mean, come on! Are you really going to be our enemy? Are you really going to hurt Straw Hats? Just accept them as your friends already. Law, you were a great character, but if you're going to be an enemy, turning your battle things against Luffy, then I really will hate your character. Because you also have to find the checkered fate. Then we get to the most controversial part of this chapter. Arguably the one thing, when you see what Oda did here, you are really questioning everything. You are basically saying, what was even the point? Because we see a smear campaign. A smear play campaign that details the final life of Orochi. Basically saying that yes, Orochi did die in that fire and being beheaded by Orochi. As well as Hiyori were standing tall as a proud hero. And finally, well, Hiyori finishing all the speech with Kurosumi means car coil, and car coil is meant to burn. Basically almost smearing the name of the Kurosumi clan, or Orochi itself only, as a pun on the fact that Kurosumi does mean car coil. It calls back to Oden's final line of his name was Oden, he was born to boil. But the thing is, the line of born to boil of Oden, that was something he embraced and was an emotional moment. Here, it really seems to that the people of Wano and everything else haven't learned a single goddamn thing. Because a mistake of the grandparent, a crime that he did, caused the entire Kurosumi to be hunted and executed, even children and anything else. That created the monsters that were Orochi and Kanjuro. So building this smear campaign, isn't this just gonna be history keep repeating itself? It is almost when Orochi was trying to smear Oden's name. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, Orochi and Kanjuro, they were scum. But the thing is here, it also begs the question, it seems that the people of Wano haven't learned a single thing. They haven't learned that it was their actions that created a monster of Orochi and Kanjuro. And the fact that they haven't learned anything also really creates a situation that smearing the name of Kurosumi, isn't that gonna come back and bite them in the ass again? The visual cycle of hate of the Kurosumi versus the Wano people, it's just gonna continue. But the thing is here, I know why the people of Wano are doing this. You have to understand one thing. The people of Wano suffered under Orochi for 20 years. None of them liked him. And then the scabbard they believed in turned out to be a traitor. So I understand why they're doing this. They're doing this because they need to feel the satisfaction of smearing Orochi's family name. The fact that he was scum and they have to say it. But the bigger question is, if the Kurosumi has survivors, the people of Wano are gonna hunt them down, creating this vicious cycle once again. And this really goes beyond everything that Oda is standing for. World peace, learning and cooperating. Because now it only thinks the good guys are in control of Wano again. But it doesn't bring this satisfaction of now what we have happened. This is not a heroic tale of the name of Orochi smearing down. No, it's the family's name being smeared down. So it really begs the question, is this really the conclusion that Oda wanted on the entire story? I mean, if we saw a flashback of all the Kurosumi being rotten to the core in the end, then I guess I understand why this plays here. But for now we haven't seen that. So the curtain ends, and Act 3 of Wano is officially over, and so is Wano itself. At long last, Wano is over. A very controversial arc with a lot of unanswered questions. Was everything bad? No, of course not. Was there a lot of things that I didn't like? Oh, yes it was. Was there a lot of unsatisfaction? Oh, yes it was. Did the bad guys get defeated the way I wanted to? No, they needed to be humiliated a lot more, and I didn't like their power. So this is Wano, an arc with a lot of questions. And again, where is Karoto? She better be mentioned next chapter. Otherwise, the confirmation that Oda hates her character is official. Give me your thoughts if you have any.